Alrighty, welcome to I Am Billsy. As you can see, I am not Billsy, but he has allowed me to use his channel to speak to a very special guest today. Guys, I'm Andrew from CheepJokes, and today we're going to be talking to a man who's just been approved for the second time in Lego Ideas, Brent Waller. Welcome.
Hey, yeah.
Good. So this isn't your first approval. You had Ghostbusters Ecto 1. Is it a bit of a different feeling the second time around?
Yeah, just not only is it different now, but the whole situation in terms of Lego Ideas is completely different now. Like back then, it was 2014. They were transitioning from being called Lego Cuso to Lego Ideas. And just the whole situation is completely different now. Like back then, I didn't find out that they were going to announce them the night before, like they've done this time. They actually pre-announced we're going to announce them tomorrow. Whereas last time I woke up in the morning and found out that I'd won, and like everyone had found out before me, and I had at least congratulations. And so yeah, the whole situation's changed, and there's a lot more. The Lego community online is a lot bigger. There's like yourself and YouTube channels, and there's a lot more talk about Lego Ideas now than there was back then.
Yeah, and you've got a bit of a science with Lego Ideas. I believe you have a spreadsheet to track the success rates of getting approved.
Something I did after Seinfeld got to 10K, I kind of went, I wonder what the chances are of comparing an original idea versus a license-based one. And then once you've got to 10K, what's your chances of getting to 10K, and then your chances of approval. And yeah, it's pretty interesting and surprising the way that I thought there'd be a lot more licensed ideas submitted, but there's actually a lot more original products submitted.
Yeah, right. What are the chances of reaching 10K? What's the percentage?
Let me just find here. So if you submit, yeah, I've got it here. You can't see it, but if you actually submit a project, you've got like let me just see the exact number. It's less than 1% chance of actually being approved. You've got a 0.125% chance of actually being approved.
Right.
So that doesn't include getting to 10K. That's just getting approved.
And what categories are higher? What do you have the best chance with?
So you've got a better chance of getting to 10K by a long shot by being licensed. So I'm just trying to find the right spreadsheet. So the sets at 10K, 70.6% are licensed and 29.4% are original.
Okay. So if there's anything licensed that hasn't been done yet, get building and get that submitted.
Someone else does. And then once you're approved, once you've actually got to 10K, the sets that have been approved, 52.9 are licensed and 47.1 are original.
Oh, so okay.
It's pretty close.
50-50.
Yeah.
Pretty good. So what's the Brent Waller success rate? So you've had 2 sets, which one's a great achievement, but getting 2, what's your success rate? 'Cause you submit quite a few, don't you?
Yeah, when it first became available, back before it was even Lego Ideas, it was Lego Cuso, and it was only available in Japan, so only Japanese people could vote on it. And I think you only needed 1,000 votes back then, and then they opened it up to a worldwide audience. And a lot of people like myself just threw up a heap of mocks we'd already done very lazily and threw them up there. So I had quite a few from back then. So I've submitted 14 in total. I've had 4 reach 10K, and only 2 have been approved so far, which I say only, but that's still high percentage. It's 14% something chance for myself.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You've got I'd say that's a decent success rate considering the chance of getting to 10K in the first place is quite low. You've done well.
Yeah, well, I've got 3 up at the moment, which I'm pretty confident are going to get to 10K. There are one's just hit 9, one's just gone over 8,000, and the other's a little over 7,000, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, cool. I'll get you to show us those in a little bit, but for now, let's talk about today's big success, the Seinfeld set. Why Seinfeld?
I grew up loving Seinfeld, much like the X-Files or Ghostbusters. It's just one of those things that Ghostbusters was my childhood, and Seinfeld was more my early adulthood. I was probably I was either in last year, high school, year 12, or I was possibly even out of school by the time they wrapped up. But it was like one of those things I'd watch, and me and my mate Russell would always laugh and just quote it, the show constantly. Yeah. I even had I think Jerry had an autobiography or something called Sign Language. I bought that. I had like a CD-ROM disc, which just had WAV files and little clips, 15-second clips from the show I used to watch on the computer.
Yeah, little individual quotes and whatnot. Have you got a favorite episode?
people have asked me that, and especially after, because I was watching them while I was making the set. I was
Yeah.
kind of just rewatching the entire series on Amazon Prime, and I like the contest is pretty good. There's one that's stuck in the car park. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
The Chinese restaurant one's pretty good.
Yeah.
But there's so many, like going through it, I was making all little scenes to help promote the project, like recreating the show. And there's so many classic scenes that it's hard to just nail down one episode.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see everyone recreating these scenes with the minifigs once they've got it in their hands. It's going to be fun.
Even when I was like, because I was promoting it within like Seinfeld communities and things and posting it on Facebook groups. And I thought I knew Seinfeld pretty well, but people were throwing references at me that even were going over my head. I was like, Jesus, they're really full on with some of them.
Yeah. But I'll still go back and watch Seinfeld, and there'll be episodes that or scenes that I completely don't remember. And there's so much to it.
Yeah. And I think, obviously, apparently the Friends set has done really well. So I think that was one of the reasonings for them to approve it. But also next year, Netflix bought the worldwide streaming rights for Seinfeld for like $500 million. So I think that's probably, they've realized that, and there's going to be a good sort of timing issue. Assuming, I don't know when it's going to come out, but if they time it around then, it's probably it's
going to be perfect.
Synergy.
Yeah, especially with it'll be the 30-year anniversary at that point, won't it?
It already has been. I was too late.
Oh, you're that's okay. They'll still milk it, I'm sure.
I did the same, maybe because my Ghostbusters was actually pitched as a 30th anniversary one as well, and I well and truly missed that. And Seinfeld anniversary was last July, I think. Yeah, so I've missed that one as well. So I've found if I label it 30th July, I'll get approved. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's good to know for anyone submitting ideas that trying to play the anniversary card doesn't necessarily work. Definitely helps. But
I think it helps the impetus for people to vote, because it's like, hey, it's coming up now. Let's vote now.
Got to get it in. Got to get it.
Deadline on when, even though it's not really a deadline. But then once it's approved, like the process of actually making the set takes much longer than it actually does to get to
for sure.
Anniversary. So
yeah. Now Jerry, he rarely approves products with his likeness on it, which we've seen. What are those the fig dolls called? The pop vinyls or something
vinyl
like
things. They're not the Funko Pops, but there's tall ones I've seen.
Yeah.
You can get like a Kramer one. You can get a Soup Nazi. You can get
everyone but Jerry.
Everyone but Jerry, basically. And apparently, this is only what I've heard through hearsay, that he's very fickle with his license being used. So I thought
was that a concern?
Well, I'd already done the set and was promoting it by the time I heard this information. So I was worried that might be a reason why they don't do it.
Yeah,
but he must have obviously approved it, or he just didn't care.
or he doesn't look enough like a minifig, and they were able to scrape it through.
Yeah, it's possible, because the minifigs are so far removed from a real representation of a human that perhaps it's not an issue.
Doesn't count, yeah. And you've given us 4 of the main characters, obviously Jerry, George, Elaine, and Kramer, but you've also picked Newman. Why not Frank Costanza or maybe even George Steinbrenner as a shout out to Larry David?
Well, I tried to pick a character who would make sense in the apartment. I mean, Frank Costanza hangs around in the apartment occasionally, but like opening the door and seeing Newman behind it, Newman's always coming in and out. He kind of felt like the more natural, and he's the good antagonist. Although Frank's a good antagonist as well, he's a good person you can mix and match. He's Kramer's friend, but he's Jerry's enemy, and the other two are kind of in between. Yeah. So I thought there'd be more potential with Newman than there would with Frank, who then opens up the option of like, do you need a Stell and all the rest of it.
Yeah. Do you see them maybe adding in some extra characters on the final model?
I hope so. Putty would be a good one, I reckon.
Putty would be good.
Yeah, and the jacket,
devil face,
the 8-ball jacket. Obviously Frank. I don't know if they'd touch the Soup Nazi.
Yeah, that could be. I reckon that'd be against their branding.
Yeah. I mean, in all the official wording, he's called the Soup Guy, not the Soup Nazi. But I think everyone just calls him the Soup Nazi. So.
Yeah, they wouldn't want to be touching that. Do you expect the final model to change much from your design?
I hope so. I hope they find better ways to improve it. The colors are a little bit flat, just because that's what the apartment's like. But even that, I couldn't really track down a clear cut. This is the color his apartment's painted in the shows, because even episode to episode in the same season, it'd look like a bluish color for the wall, the lower part of the walls, and then other ones it'd be like a creamy color.
Right.
So I'm hoping they settle on something that's. I'm hoping for like a sand bluey kind of color, because I think it would make it pop a lot more.
Yeah. So you really did your research on this one.
Well, as I said, I was watching it as I was making it.
Yeah, right.
So I'm sure there's an official color that their branding says it needs to be. So hopefully they'll settle on something that looks good. I'd love if they expanded it and add the diner and stuff, but who knows?
Yeah, that'd be fun. Some additional sets. Well, yeah, no, friends could have done the same with the apartment, I guess, but then it goes into another can of worms. Do Lego consult with you much on these changes, or it's like, thanks for the Seinfeld idea, this is what we're going to produce?
I'm not at that stage yet with them to find out what sort of say I get in it. And as I said, it was completely different for Ghostbusters back then. It was more or less of, here's the set, it's going to come out very soon. You can have your opinion, but we're not really going to have time to change anything. So I'm not sure whether that was just a matter of them waiting till the last minute to announce it, or working out the deal behind the scenes or whatever.
Yeah.
But I didn't really have much to say. Not that I needed to, because the improvements went well beyond what I thought they could do with it.
Yeah.
So I'll wait and see how it compares 2014 ideas, products versus 2020. When I
do you have the model there? The
yeah, it's not finished actually. I only started building it like because it was all done digitally. I only started building it a week or two back.
Yeah,
just in case. So yeah, it's not quite finished yet, but most of it's
there we go. Yeah,
that's the kind of thing they do for the walls. I think I used light grey in the actual submission, but I hope they go with more of the. I know the couch should be like a medium blue color, but I've only got grey, so I had to do it in that color.
Yeah, no, that looks cool. Nice.
So I don't have the fridge there yet. Not done.
I have been lucky enough to get an early release of it if you'd like to have a look. So there we are. There's the Seinfeld.
That's how the couch should be.
It is the blue.
Yeah.
And of course you've got to have the green bike hanging on the wall up the back here.
Got that hiding in the back there.
Important detail. No, I had this one built by Kale for me many years ago, which is very cool. What other Lego ideas have you got up for support right now?
At the moment, I've got the calendar, which is doing the best out of all of them, and it's been up there the least amount of time. I put that up. It's probably 2 months ago now-ish.
Have you got it there? Give us a look.
No, it's completely digital, so I have no build of the calendar.
No, that's all right.
And that was one where I hadn't actually planned to build that one. I was trying to build one of those calendars that they're like a desktop calendar with like a card inside a box, and you flip it over and the number slides down and changes. So I was going to build something like that with like a little scene around the base of different seasons. Then I tried building that physically, and the cards that I built wouldn't slide. It was just too much action. All the ones I was sort of copying were these wooden made ones, and they were sanded very fine.
Yeah.
And if I tried to do that, I tried building the studs facing outwards, so there were tiles on the outside. I tried just stacking bricks. I just couldn't get them to flip.
It's not enough
so
room.
I thought, fallback will just be, I'll just have a simple rotating mechanism for the calendar, and we'll change the dates, and it worked. And then little piece on for different seasons and holidays.
Yep. And is that the only one that you've got up there at the moment?
No, I've also got the bonsai, which I put up before the one last year, and that's just gone over 8,000 votes from memory. I've got that one here. This one of the few ones I have built physically. Let me just grab it. Just try and turn it around because it's quite large.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that looks really cool. It's hopefully this one makes it through. I think it's quite a nice sort of, desk display kind of item, isn't it? Yeah,
it's come a similar territory to the calendar, in that it's something you could put on a desktop or a mantelpiece, and even if you're not into Lego, it's something you could display and feel happy about. It's very sort of ship in the bottle kind of market is how I compare it. It's that kind of set. But I'm in a probably enviable but not great position at the moment, where there's a slim chance that bonsai and the calendar could be in the same review period.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
So I've stopped promoting the bonsai at all, in the hope that, because I don't want to compete against myself. calendar's got its own momentum, and I can't really stop that. Whereas the bonsai is slowing a little bit, but it's going to be. I think this period ends around September, and it's going to be very close whether the bonsai is going to make it or get pushed back. I'm hoping it gets pushed back.
But it could really bump up your percentage. Both of them make it through. Both of them get approved. Could be quite the achievement.
I can't see them approving two at once from the same person. I think there'd be a bit of an uproar.
You reckon? Do you reckon they think about it that much? Like, oh, we can't knock back a good set because it's the same person.
I have no idea. They've got their own internal mechanisms, how they decide these things. I don't know if there's a limit on how many they could approve at one time from one person or totally. So who knows? But out of the two, like I love them both so much. I wouldn't want one to miss out because the other one got through, or both miss out for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed they both make it through. But I mean, Brent, thank you for joining. Oh, Brent, sorry. I said Brent. Brent, thank you for joining us. Congratulations on being approved once again. It's a massive achievement to do it once. To do it twice is huge. And so glad we've got an Australian that keeps hitting this mark. And yeah, it's a theme that I'm super excited about, and it's going to be very popular. So yeah, thanks for your time today.
Thanks for having me.
No worries.